Hello, I wanted to do a quick video on the top 5 reasonable things I think the Renegade TrailHawk can improve on to become a better off-roader. The first thing on my list is the stock tires. It is the only TrailHawk model to not come with all-terrain tires from the factory. They come with Falcon Wild Peak HT tires, and I believe they're okay tires, but obviously they don't have the off-road ratings or anything like that. And also I noticed on the road, when you take corners, sometimes the shoulders can roll and wear out. I put on Yokohama Geolander uh, 8 all-terrains, and they work much better on and off the road. And I'll show you this picture. The very first day I took out the Renegade on the trail, I did puncture a sidewall that caused a slow leak on the stock tires. My second point is the skid plate protection underneath the Renegade Trailhawk. Even though it is very well equipped directly under the carriage, protecting the engine, the drive shaft, even the control arms and the fuel tank. I think something that is unique, especially with the non-Wranglers, is the unibody chassis. And what I'm talking about here is the pinch welds that run along the side between the tires, basically. There is a flat piece of metal that is actually part of the structure of the cars that are not built on top of a frame. And I have already hit mine. It can cause some problems, mainly lift points for lifting up your Jeep on to a lift, and it technically damages the structure of the car. There is a solution. Mopar has what they call rock rails, but I don't believe that Mopar really takes it super serious, or FCA doesn't. They don't really explain what it is exactly that they're advertising. You could see here that it's just super expensive, and I don't think anyone has ever actually bought it, or there's not very much info online about it. I feel like this is something that could have been available as an option, or just put on from the factory if they have such a solution. My third point is another thing that other Trailhawk models, in fact all Trailhawk models have, except for the Renegade, is some sort of off-road pages. Here's an example of one that's put into the Rubicon. It's really fancy. But also the Cherokee has one, and the Grand Cherokee has their own version. And something that I learned through my research is that there actually is a more simpler form called Jeep Skills, but it is only available in the European market, and I'm just completely baffled on why it's not available in the US or anything like that. I think it's pretty much a must for the Trailhawk models. Just adds fun to the off-road experience. My fourth point is that I believe the Jeep Selec Track system could use a little bit more explaining. Mainly the differences between snow, sand, and mud. The turning on the 4x4 alone in auto mode makes the power split between 50-50 front and rear. Snow, sand, and mud, supposedly transfers power 40, 60, all of them more towards the rear wheels. And rock, I believe, is 50-50, but it's hypersensitive to where to distribute the torque because it expects wheels to be in the air and trying to redirect traction to tires that are still on the ground. Uh, but I have questions about the snow, sand, and mud, about kind of like how fast you're supposed to be going in order to utilize them to their maximum potential, and if and what exactly they do traction wise that makes them different. Because I've always kind of questioned if the snow is really cold and powdery, if it might actually be better to use sand, or if the snow is really wet, maybe mud might be better, or if it's really rainy out on sand dunes or at the beach, if mud might be better to use instead of sand mode. And then my final point that I wanted to make is the manual shifting on the Jeep Trailhawk, probably in all the Jeep Renegade models. The manual shifting is really almost pointless. It doesn't shift, it's not very responsive when you try to downshift, and it doesn't engine brake very well. It holds the throttle electronically, and it makes it a little bit frustrating going down hills, especially off road, in trying to control your momentum and not using and trying to use less brakes. And that concludes my 5 thoughts on what should be done with the Renegade if I were in control. How are some things that you would improve the Jeep Trailhawk? Uh, Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.